My name is Gloria Garza. I'm 48 years old, and I am a first-generation Mexican American. I grew up with my mom and dad and my 4 brothers. All of them immigrated to United States in 1970, and I was born a few years after. When I was in first grade, I noticed that everybody in the classroom was different than I was. Everybody was predominantly white, and I could not relate to anybody. I did not know anything about the American culture. Every time I would go out with my Caucasian friends or hang out with them, I was always nervous about being judged for not acting in the way that they act or knowing things that they know. I vividly remember a time that I was invited to breakfast with my friend's parents. The parents looked at me kind of funny because I couldn't cut my pancakes. I didn't realize why I didn't know how to cut a pancake until I got older. The reason was because in my family, we didn't have pancakes for breakfast. Our breakfast consisted of eggs and beans, and we would eat that with our tortillas. I stopped thinking of my culture as a priority. I began pushing away any Mexican traits that were in my family, for example, music, food, even the language. I did not want to speak Spanish in my household. I wanted them to feel that I was an American, even though I was an American. In high school, as more immigrants began coming into the country, there were more people of my age, my same color. I was happy when I saw them because they looked just like me. But as I got to know them and they got to know me, I also realized I was different than they were. I did so much of pushing my culture away that I lost so many things. I couldn't hold a conversation with them in Spanish, so they would make fun of me for that. I didn't know any of the Mexican artists, like singers or actors or novellas. I didn't know how to dance cumbia. To them, I was too American for them. So at that point, I felt lost again. I just felt like I was too American for the Mexicans and too Mexican for the Americans. So I didn't fit in either culture. But what helped me get through these feelings were the stories that my mom told me about coming to America. They didn't all come here together, like my mom, dad, and my brothers. They all came separately, and that's because of the way that they had to get here. You know, my mom hired a coyote, which is somebody that transports them over the border. She went through the water, through the river, and the desert. And at that time, she was like in her 30s, and she was very young. I just think about how unsafe that is. I would never do that. And it's such a risky thing just to get over here. And she didn't just stop in Texas and California. She went all the way to Illinois. She left her home, everything she knew, to come to America for the dream, to live a better life. And because of that, I was born as a United States citizen. I owe it to my mom to embrace our culture, considering the sacrifices that she made to get here. I learned everything that I should have learned for my Mexican culture later in life, like learning to dance, learning to cook. I wish that I would have had the courage to embrace both cultures. I wish that I would have embraced my Mexican culture at an earlier age. I want to tell anybody in my situation, or it's okay to embrace both cultures. You don't have to worry about being judged, because otherwise you'll regret it later in life.